Oh my God, were there struggles along the way, 50 years of struggle. I came to San Diego State, I was recruited by Harold Brown. He was the person who the vice president had put in place to do this. Because I understand there was some protests and some burning the trash cans and all kind of stuff at San Diego State in the spring of 1972. But so Harold Brown was recruiting folks to come. And I was teaching at the time at Cal State LA part-time and had taught one quarter and had really good reviews and that kind of stuff. And so this request for a person to teach communications as well as to teach Black communication came to various places. They were recruiting faculty. And so the chair of the department said to me, because I was part-time, he said, "You should check this out."
Yeah, I went to culinary art school. And I went to Mesa College and Grossmont for culinary arts. And I got a job at Scripps Hospital. So I was a chef there, a young chef. And everybody liked my cooking because I would experiment, and make the food. Hospital food tastes good. And then everybody, I left there, went to microfilm company, but we turned to be vegetarian. Everybody goes, "Man, you should open a restaurant," because all the vegetarians had to come over to my house to eat. And they were going, "Hey," because we were meditators, and we could tell that we were changing, our consciousness.
I went back to school in 1971, back to state. I graduated from high school in 1963. I raised my children, went to General Dynamics to work. I went to college at San Diego State University and graduated in 1976. I did an internship with them, and you remember this was during the Black Power movement and civil rights. And they had to start diversifying their workforce, especially at the management level. So they invited me to do an internship. And when I graduated, they offered me a position with Pacific Bell in those days, Pacific Telephone. So that was my first professional job. And I was the first Black woman in sales in Pacific Telephone back in '76. I had my big afro.
I think he thought, like most kids, they start something and they see the hard work, the repetition, all these qualities that come with having to be a boxer and having to come back and do it again. Eventually I would get tired, burnt out quickly and want to do something else. But when he said yes, my father said yes to a lot of things. He said yes to possibilities. He said yes to opportunities. He said yes to me now following the path of Mr. Muhammad Ali. He said yes to opportunity. He said yes to my path to becoming a world champion.
So many wonderful people, so much awake and enlivened behavior contained in such a provincial city. It was amazing to me to see how the social service agencies, the Urban League, the NAACP, Neighborhood House, these agencies, along with the churches and the community organizations like us, and San was just coming together at that time. The Pan-African Association was coming together. There was a lot of compassionate interactions where consciousness was being raised, education was being done about our Blackness.
when I started doing theater, I did theater because there was a need for it. Southeast was doing shows, and all the shows that we was doing was shows like The Dark of the Moon. It didn't represent me. None of the shows represent who I was or who I wanted to be represented. And the Human Eye Theater Company with Ricardo, Pitts Riley, and I, we was doing black shows by black playwrights. And we was doing shows that represent our community.
Well, that was in the 50s. He managed the Douglas Hotel. He brought entertainers to San Diego, right down on Market Street. And my father was an entrepreneur and he was a contractor. So he had a lot of contacts with different various people and was allowed to do a lot of things here in San Diego. If you go out to Pacific Beach in that big apartment complex, that was his project. The 805 highway, he worked on that as well. If you saw a lot of housing divisions.
I love him. He's my buddy. Beautiful man. Beautiful man. I've seen him help a lot of people. Feed the homeless. And we had Say Hours Club on Thanksgiving Day. It'd be full of people eating and thanking and hugging Junior. He had that kind of heart. Bill Walton was another one that I worked with. I worked with a lot of people, and I'm proud of that. I'm just proud of that. So my legacy's in place. So I'm gonna put these cameras down, and start working more on mentoring through my foundation and my legacy.